Imagine paying almost $2,700 for an Android tablet with like just 4 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah, that sounds pretty rough.
Right. In the consumer world, that sounds like a terrible deal. Specs that belong in, a budget phone from 2018. But what if I told you that this specific screen is designed to run the entire digital nervous system of a corporate skyscraper?
It's a completely different beast.
Exactly. So, okay, let's unpack this. We're doing a deep dive today into the spec sheet for the Kramer KT-2015 15-inch touch panel. And our mission here is to uncover exactly why commercial AV equipment is engineered, well, completely differently from the iPad sitting on your coffee table.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is the massive divide between consumer flash and commercial endurance. I mean, think of a consumer tablet like a sports car. It's fast, it's flashy, but it needs brakes.
Right, you can't just redline it all day long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you plugged an iPad into the wall and ran heavy video on it 24/7 for, say, 2 years, the lithium-ion battery would eventually bulge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it could literally catch fire. But the Kramer panel is more like a freight train locomotive. It actually has no battery to fail.
Wait, no battery at all?
None. It runs straight off the building's infrastructure. Under the hood, that quad-core ARM processor isn't built for gaming or anything. It's specifically tuned for hardware decoding of really demanding corporate applications.
So it's just churning through data constantly.
Right. It can process continuous, high-efficiency H.265 video streams, and it does it without breaking a sweat or overheating.
Yeah, because it's not just sitting in sleep mode. It's pulling a massive constant data load. And since it's processing so much heavy video continuously, it logically needs a rock-solid data connection.
Which brings us to the networking.
Right. So looking at the networking specs, it supports Wi-Fi 6, but for a permanent install, it relies on PoE, which is power over Ethernet.
A total lifesaver for enterprise gear.
Yeah, I know PoE is standard to avoid, like, messy wall outlets, but I'm curious. Wait, so if it uses PoE, does that mean you literally just plug in one single Ethernet cable to handle both the high-speed network connection and the power supply? Doesn't that cause thermal throttling in a unit this thin?
That is a great question, and it's exactly why the internal architecture is so vital here. It's engineered specifically for that continuous draw to prevent any thermal throttling.
So it just handles it.
Yeah, effortlessly. And that single cable deployment is crucial for corporate environments.
Yeah.
Because it gives you, clean aesthetics, whether it's on a conference table or mounted on a Visa wall bracket.
Just one wire, clean and simple.
Right. But more importantly, the auto-sensing LAN connection optimizes network speeds dynamically. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's really about eliminating points of failure.
Meaning fewer things that can break down.
Exactly. There is no separate power brick burnout and no Wi-Fi dropouts during a massive board meeting.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Because you've got this highly reliable, nearly $3,000 piece of hardware permanently mounted in a public lobby.
Yeah, that's a prime target.
Right. Which brings us to the obvious physical risk. If it's just sitting there, how do you prevent someone from walking off with it? Or, just swiping out of the corporate app to browse the internet?
Well, this is where the difference between consumer and commercial really shines. The security is fundamentally baked right into the mechanism of the device.
Like on a hardware level.
Yeah, on the hardware side, those Visa mounts don't just slide off. They use these hidden proprietary security screws. It makes unwanted removal virtually impossible unless you have specialized tools.
Okay, so they can't steal the physical panel. What about the software?
On the software side, it runs a highly locked down kiosk mode. It physically disables the Android navigation bar and hides the control buttons. An unauthorized user literally cannot swipe home.
Oh, that's smart. They're just trapped in whatever app the building wants them in.
Exactly. Plus, there's a 5-megapixel camera built in. But to address privacy concerns, it's hardwired to a red LED alert.
So if someone's watching, you know it.
Right. If that camera is active, the light is on, period. There is no software override for that.
So what does this all mean? When you see that $2,648 sale price on the spec sheet, it suddenly clicks. You aren't just buying a 15-inch screen.
No, not at all.
When you invest in enterprise tech like this Kramer unit, you are investing in invisible 24/7 reliability, hardware that won't melt down, and locked-down security that keeps your physical assets and network completely safe.
And this raises an important question about the modern workplace. Because as we build these smarter facilities, the real value of these touch panels isn't just the display itself.
Right, it's what they connect to.
Exactly. It's that they act as a singular, reliable bridge between human intent and a massive, complex building infrastructure.
Which leaves you with a slightly unnerving thought to ponder. As centralized, heavy-duty panels like this Kramer unit become the sole interface for operating our entire smart buildings, what happens to our physical environment when the network unexpectedly goes down?
Yeah, that's the scary part.
If the screen goes dark, will we even know how to manually turn on the lights anymore?